Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Magician with a Microphone podcast. Today is just Thursday. Really, we're not doing anything special. Today's February 17th. I'm here at the Main Street Gallery in Ansonia where I do my podcast. And I actually thought that Rich was going to be coming on today and talking about the story I want him to tell. And he came in. And it was like, yep, can't do it this week. And I'm like, shit, come on, dude. Like, I'm waiting. Like, it's going to be really fun, really interesting. So, and I've been hyping it up. Like, fuck, I just don't want to say what it is because of, one, of spoilers, but two, like, because of the topic and everything. It's like, I don't want anyone getting in trouble. So today, instead, because I know he's not able to come, I'm going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl, man. The Super Bowl was last Sunday, and it was it was a good Super Bowl, man. For, the game itself, being kind of back and forth, I would say. Congratulations to the Rams winning. I'll admit, I was kind of bandwagoning for the Bengals. I know they had never won a Super Bowl before, and I was kind of hoping. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that'd be pretty cool, Let's have the Bengals win a Super Bowl, especially because for, like, the last couple of years, they've sucked, But, hey, you can't win them all. They got to the Super Bowl. How many people can say that? There's probably teams out there who've never even seen a Super Bowl. So, congratulations to the Rams. It was a really good game, but I want to talk about the fucking halftime show, okay? The halftime show, the hype that it got, everybody's saying one thing. They're like, could this become the greatest halftime show ever? And I'm sitting here thinking Prince is the greatest halftime show ever. And that's true. In my opinion, at least. Prince put on the greatest halftime show that there has ever been. Okay? Considering it was raining. He did Purple Rain in the rain. And half of it, he covered other songs. He was dancing around in stilettos on a slick surface in the pouring rain. And of course, his cover of fucking... Best of You and All Along the Watchtower were great. But Purple Rain, man, that was emotional. That was just fucking pure. So, but, I kept all of that in mind. I was like, what were some of the best halftime shows that at least I've seen? I remember watching... I didn't start watching the Super Bowl on a yearly basis until about maybe 2009, I think. Maybe it wasn't 2009. Maybe it was a little bit soon. I think it was like 2005. I remember the first year I ended up watching the Super Bowl was when it was one of the years that the Patriots won. And I remember, I remember my father was like really excited because I guess the Patriots won, but he's a Bears fan, so I mean, I don't know why he's a Bears fan. I asked him one day, I was like, Dad, why are you a Bears fan? They suck. I'm a Packers fan, but at least, like, I guess I can give him some sort of credit. He knows he's not going to make the playoffs. We are going to make the playoffs and eventually fucking choke. So I guess we have that to fucking, look forward to. But, I remember, some of the halftime shows. I remember Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I remember The Who. That was a very good one. I remember Bruce Springsteen was a pretty damn good halftime show. Remember Black Eyed Peas, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, Beyonce. Remember... J-Lo and Shakira was all right. The Weeknd was actually... I liked The Weeknd when he did the halftime show. Let's see. What other halftime shows do I remember? The bands that I really would like to have do the halftime show, I've never done it. Like, I'd love to see Bon Jovi do the halftime show. I'd love to see Metallica do the halftime show. I really would like to see Guns N' Roses do the halftime show, but apparently Slash or Axl has something against the NFL and the way that they produce it or some shit like that. So unfortunately, you won't see them. There were talks about AC/DC doing it for the longest time, and that never happened. So, but this year, guys, holy shit. What a halftime show. Probably in the top 3 as far as I'm concerned. Now, when I got the hype, when I saw the package for it, I was like, there's no fucking way they're having that much star power in one halftime show. And they're going to announce all of it at once. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, and Eminem. And at first, I'm like, dude, they should have kept Eminem a surprise. They should have kept Eminem a surprise. Why would you announce that? I can understand why you would announce it, try to get the hype on it, but guys, can you imagine like the fucking fan reaction if Eminem came out like unannounced? That would have been fucking insane. But let's talk about this, all right? They hype this up. Super Bowl's in Los Angeles, up the street from Compton. West Coast rappers, rappers all from my generation. I grew up listening to, here's the thing. I grew up listening to country music, which I hate country music now. I hate it. I will listen to it when it's playing. Does not mean that I enjoy it. I hate country music. I hate the fact that every country song sounds the same. They have the same instruments. They have the same, like the steel guitar that always sounds the fucking same. The violins sound the same. They play the same riffs. They have the same guitar tone. And all of the singers sound like one person. Not to mention they fake their accents. And anybody who wants to sit here and tell me that a country accent is real, fuck you. I'm not arguing this. I've made TikTok videos scientifically explaining how an accent is not possible when you're singing. Anytime you hear an accent with somebody singing, they are faking it. Your brain can't do it. So, country music, not my go-to. Can't stand it. Fucking hate it. But I grew up on it. With that being said, my mom never really let us listen to rap. She didn't like it. She thought it was inappropriate. Now, mind you, I call like hip-hop, R&B, rap, I call all of that New Haven music. Because when I was younger, I remember going to like the doctor's office in New Haven, or going to, like my mom used to work at a nail salon in New Haven, or I remember going down to the New Haven Coliseum for monster truck shows. And, I remember hearing, artists like Mary J. Blige and Luther Vandross and, Boyz II Men and Michael Bolton and let's see, who else? I remember hearing, Macy Gray, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, fucking Tina Turner. All of like the elite names in R&B and hip hop. I remember hearing them on the radio, but for some reason I would only remember hearing them on the radio when we were in New Haven. So I associate, hip hop and R&B with New Haven, Connecticut. So I call it New Haven music. So, especially Mary J. Blige. I would hear her on the radio all the time. So, we get into the halftime show. They start out, they do the promo package for Dr. Dre. The stage was not what I was expecting. Now, what was it supposed to be? Was it supposed to be a neighborhood? Was it supposed to be a block? Was it? I don't know if it was supposed to be a trailer park. Because like on one side it looked like houses, on the other side it looked like building, like businesses. which I actually feel bad for anybody sitting in the audience who had to sit on the other side where the camera wasn't pointing, where you couldn't see inside, because I feel like they missed a lot, with the exception of like Kendrick's, the thing with the boxes got set up there. And, but like, you're not going to see, like when 50 Cent came out, which was a huge surprise. I was like, holy, is that fucking 50 Cent? And I realized, oh shit, he's hanging upside down just like in the music video. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start from the beginning. Anyway, I was talking about the set. The set was pretty cool, basic black and white with the LED screens on the inside of it. I love the elevator feature of Dr. Dre's, production board going up and down and all of the instruments, which, by the way, they were actually playing the instruments. I did see a lot of people that were like commenting on Facebook pages on like the news, like on the news pages and like NFL. Oh, they're lip singing and they weren't playing instruments. No, they actually were. They were all singing. They were all rapping. They were the instruments were plugged in. They were live. And you can tell because I watched live versions from the stands of the Super Bowl, and you can hear it. You can hear like the amplifiers, the guitar, the strumming of the guitars and everything. You can hear the drums and all of that. And Dr. Dre was actually controlling the music from that soundboard. So it was all legit. It wasn't like a couple of years ago when I think it was Bruno Mars had the Chili Peppers on and their instruments weren't plugged in. So you could tell that they weren't actually playing. And I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. So, every year I look for that stuff. And with any performance, I look and I make sure that the guitar is plugged in. It's funny because I was watching a music video, John Mayer's Wild Blue, and he's playing his new guitar, the one that he's trying to, debut and sell, and it's not plugged in. I'm like, John, you're more talented than that, dude. Just fucking play it. So we start out. Dr. Dre sitting there at the fucking production booth. It raises up. You see him stand up, which I thought that was a cool camera angle, by the way. And watching it on a 70-inch television made it look even cooler. They start doing the first song was with Snoop, dun, 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 dun. I don't remember the name of the song. I've been drawing a blank today, guys. Just bear with me. I'm probably going to butcher a lot of the songs that I know some of them. But they start off with that, and Snoop Dogg is standing up there on top of the roof of one of those little buildings. And by the way, Snoop, I saw the joint, thought that was fucking hysterical, but it's Snoop. You can't expect anything less. And they absolutely kill it. They delivered fucking, it was great. Seeing Snoop, first off, Snoop has not aged a goddamn day since like 2001. Okay? Snoop Dogg, in my opinion, he's probably one of the best fucking human beings on the planet. He's one of the funniest motherfuckers when it comes to like doing commentary on shit. I love the things that he's doing with Martha Stewart. I think it's hysterical. And, Snoop is just one of those guys where he's so like zen. You know what I mean? It's like everything's chill, everything's cool. There's no fucking problems with Snoop. And that's what I love about the guy. It's like, I feel like I would just want to hang out in a room with Snoop and just do card tricks with him and vibe. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. I just want to fucking hang out with him, maybe eat ice cream. I don't know. He seems like a dude who likes ice cream. We're talking about the same guy who has on his staff a blunt roller. So I wouldn't smoke with him because I don't smoke, but I mean, fuck, I get a contact high, I can tell you that. So they start doing, fucking Snoop and Dre, and they end up on the fucking roof together, and they're killing it, and then they point down, and there's 50. I'm like, 50 cents here, what the fuck, this is pretty cool. And everybody's like, oh, 50 got fat. Bro, 50 is literally 50. I think he's 50. Maybe he's 51. I'm talking age. He's up there in age. He's not going to look like he did when he was 20. Plus, you can tell that, age has hit him a little bit, experience has hit him. The dude's still buff as a motherfucker. I'll tell you that right now. He's a huge guy. I mean, he's also, 6'3", something like that? He's not a small dude. Snoop Dogg's like 6'5", 6'6", I think. Maybe he's 6'5". I don't think he's that. I don't think he's... Because he's not taller than LeBron. And LeBron is like 6'8" or 6'9". But at the same time, he's also been on WWE before, and he can step over the top rope. So the top rope is 5 feet. So his legs are tall. Anyway, I'm not talking about height. Kendrick Lamar is like 5'6". But 50's a big dude. So it's like, it's understandable. Yeah, he's got some muscle on him. He's got, a little bit of chunk on him. It's okay. Dude still fucking delivered. And he's sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear, "Go shorty, it's your birthday." And I'm like, oh, he's not going to do this one. Because I know there's a lot of swearing in that, and I know that they probably had to be really careful as to what songs that they chose as far as, the profanity and everything, but they did censor it. They were really good about censoring it and choosing their words and everything, so that way they don't get hit. Even though the word shit is actually acceptable on television now. The word shit is acceptable, and I think South Park had a lot to do with that. And then again, you guys know how I feel about swears. I don't understand why swear words offend people. They're words. Why does the word fuck offend somebody? Makes no sense. What if fuck was a noun? Like go put this cup on top of the fuck over there. Anyway, so yeah, they had to censor a couple of things, which I understood, and they chose words like it's the one and only D-O-double-G instead of it's a motherfucking D-O-double-G. So they were able to do it, But 50 comes out and he is going wild. Like, you could tell he's just having fun with this thing, bro. And he hasn't even lost a beat. He could still, and he's singing. He's singing. He's upside down singing, too. And from what I understand, that whole thing where him hanging upside down like that, I guess he almost passed out. So then after 50, here comes Mary J. Blige. And let me tell you, Mary J. Blige, she's got a great singing voice, man. And the fact that she did No More Drama, I thought that was great. And she's still hitting those high notes. She's still dancing around like fucking... And she's not even out of breath. Her cardio must be insane. And she still looks good for her age. Now, you got to remember, these are all guys, with the exception of Kendrick Lamar, these are all guys that have been around since, the fucking late 90s? Early 2000s? So we're talking over 20 years for each of them. Like I said, with the exception of Kendrick. Even though, who knows, maybe Kendrick had been doing it longer and just didn't get into the game until a lot later, So then Mary J. Blige does her thing, and, like, her fucking, you could tell that there's a lot of emotion going into her performance and everything when she's doing No More Drama, and it just fucking sounded great. And then Kendrick, they said, they got the boxes I didn't understand. Maybe there's something in a music video that I never saw before. I wasn't able to watch, listen to rap when I was younger. And as ashamed as I am to say it, I'm not completely brushed up with my knowledge of Kendrick Lamar. Even though, my friends will play Kendrick every once in a while in the car if we're going somewhere. But I did know the song that Kendrick was playing. We're Gonna Be All Right. I know that song. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but I know that song. I've heard that song. And I thought he did very well. I thought his performance was great. The dancers around him were fucking great too. And it's like Kendrick, like I've heard him freestyle. He's fucking he's up there. I think you could put Kendrick in with the Mount Rushmore of freestyle rappers as far as ideas off the top of your head and everything. I would say probably him. Oh, shit. Fuck. And what's funny? I'm gonna get messages from my friends who are probably gonna listen to this. From my personal knowledge of artists, I would have to say that if I had to pick, I would say the Mount Rushmore of freestyling, just fucking off the top of the head shit. All right. Kendrick, Lil Wayne, probably Snoop and Eminem. I would have to say. I'm not, at least from what I've heard. You know what? I would change Snoop with Lil Dicky. Because he's fucking insane. The only reason why I am not saying Juice WRLD is because I don't think we were able to hear Juice WRLD's full potential before he passed away. Now, I know that there's plenty of names that could go on that list. There's Juice WRLD, there's Mac Miller, there's fucking, the Island Boys definitely the fuck aren't on there. I can tell you that right now. Maybe Drake. Maybe, I don't know if Kanye does anything off the top of his head. I think he writes all of his shit. And just personal opinion on Kanye, I think he's a genius. I think he's a marketing fucking master. We'll talk about that some other day. But anyway, Kendrick's done with the Super Bowl. Out comes the GOAT. Out the greatest fucking lyrical MC of all time, Eminem. And I'm not saying that because I'm white. And I'm not saying that because, I don't know much about rap, but I do know how Eminem is. No. I'm saying that because Eminem could literally rhyme anything with anything and make it make perfect sense. Eminem could be given a topic, two completely random topics, and not only make them sound like they belong together, but make it sound good. Eminem's rapping speed is fucking insane. But then again, look who brought him up. Fucking he's basically made out of pen and paper. I think there's ink. His blood's got to be ink. He can think of anything. He can put an end to anybody's career. He can rap about cats for 45 minutes and make you hate cats and love cats at the same time. He's a fucking savage. We're talking about the same guy who wrote a song about a stalker who ended up killing his fucking wife and his pregnant wife, which may or may not have been a true story. I'm not entirely sure. I've heard it's a true story. He ended people's careers and didn't even fucking mean to, He's reinvented himself. He's fucking, every rapper in the game says, don't fuck with M, your career's going to be over. The dude dissed MGK so bad, he literally switched genres. He made a song with Mariah Carey moaning as its fucking background noise. He wrote a song about sticking gerbils up your ass. The dude can make anything. He can rap about anything and make it sound good. And again, I'm not saying this because I'm a white dude from Ansonia, Connecticut. I'm saying this because I've listened to his rap. I've listened to people react to his rapping. I've listened to his freestyles. I've listened, I've watched interviews. I watched 8 Mile, which explains, that's probably not really saying much. Oh, I watched 8 Mile. I'm an Eminem fan. But I understand where he came from. The dude came from nothing and and ended up becoming the greatest fucking rapper of all time. Everybody in the rap game says that Eminem is the best. But Eminem had his choice of people who he thought were the best, and Juice WRLD was one of them. And dude, if Juice didn't die, I feel like there could have been a whole, fucking new generation. I think Eminem probably would have taken him under his wing, and I think Juice WRLD would have been the next Eminem by now. Juice died, 4 years ago? 3-4 years ago, I think. But Eminem comes out, and the crowd goes absolutely fucking batshit crazy, okay? And I know this because first off, the Super Bowl, the showing that you saw on TV, the NBC, airing, obviously, they got to mix everything so everything sounds, proper. Sometimes they got to, boost the music over the crowd. I watched a couple of videos that people took from the audience when Eminem came out, the place erupted. Everybody started fucking cheering, like going crazy. And then he starts doing Lose Yourself, the song from 8 Mile, his first real big hit. He could have done anything. He could have did anything. He could have did Real Slim Shady. He could have did fucking Godzilla. He could have did Rap God. He could have done something new. Maybe he's working on something new. We don't know. You know, he could have did, he could have did Stan. He could have did anything. He could have did a montage of all of the shit, but he chose Lose Yourself. You know? He could have did Not Afraid. But he does Lose Yourself, and what you didn't hear is the entire crowd is singing along to it. 100,000 people are singing along to it. And you got fucking Snoop and fucking Snoop and 50 just sitting there on that couch that's on that stage. You're just sitting there bobbing and vibing. It's fucking crazy. So after that, you know, he goes and he finishes Lose Yourself. By the way, did anybody else notice the fucking dude from Silk Sonic on the drums? What was his name? Anderson Rob or no? Anderson Paak? I think his name is Anderson Paak. He's got the dot in front of the Paak. Yeah, he was sitting there playing drums, which I thought, I was like, fuck, I recognize that guy. And then the thing that made everybody fucking question whether it was supposed to be a political thing or not. Eminem takes a knee. Guys, let's settle this once and for all, okay? Eminem is standing next to Dr. Dre, the guy who brought him into the rap game, while Dr. Dre is playing he's playing an intro from one of Tupac's songs, who's no longer with us. Eminem is showing respect to Tupac in his home. I mean, granted, you know, Compton's up the street, but in his home, next to the guy that brought him in. There was no political fucking, nothing. And I try not to get political. I don't like getting political on my podcast. But guys, I feel like if it was supposed to be political, there would have been a hell of a lot more fucking signs. There would have been a hell of a lot more like hidden little fucking messages in there. It was Eminem showing respect to a fallen friend. Maybe they weren't friends. Maybe they had beef. I don't know. But it was Eminem showing respect to a rapper in his hometown while the person who brought him into the rap game is playing his music. That's the way I saw it. That's the way I feel like it. I feel like that's the way it was supposed to be meant. And then they start doing Still Dre. And Still Dre, then the fucking crowd really goes crazy when they start hearing that piano intro. And they get up there all on the fucking center of that fucking little house thing, and they're all singing and rapping to Still Dre. And then when the song finally ends, you got 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and Dr. Dre standing right there. And it's like, fuck, like that's literally, if there was a Mount Rushmore of rappers, that's them. If there was a Mount Rushmore of like R&B and rap and hip hop, that's them. You know, right there at the Super Bowl. I feel like this Super Bowl was nothing but guys who are just really, 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 really good, the best in the world at what they do and, you know, who they are, going up and doing their thing. And that's all that there is to it. They picked the best, they brought in the best, and they put on a show being the best. As far as like, if I had to rate this, I would say it's 8 to a 9 as far as Super Bowl halftime shows. It was so good. Now, there's just one thing I do want to say about it. Not a criticism, because honestly, I don't really think that there is any room for any criticism for this halftime show because it was so damn good. It wasn't Prince. I would say it's in the top 3. I would say easily within the top 3 greatest Super Bowl halftime shows ever. I think it's better than Michael Jackson's. It's better than The Who. It's better than, I believe the Stones did it at one point. I know it was better than Tom Petty. It was better than Katy Perry. I think Bruno's was up there as far as, a good performance, but I think it was better than I'd have to say Bruno's was probably 5, Michael Jackson's 4. This is number 3. Number 2, definitely wasn't fucking Maroon 5 because they were Definitely, oh man. Honestly, you know what? I'd have to say maybe this halftime show was probably number 2. Maybe Bruno was number 3. Maybe Jackson was number 4. Maybe, fucking, what would be number 5 now? Because I got to move everything around. Either way, Prince is number 1. I'll have to think about number 5. Maybe Springsteen. But shit, what a fucking performance, man. And I was watching, like, after that halftime show was over, I literally sat there. I was like, what a fucking performance. It was so good. It was so good, dude. It's good enough to where I can talk about it for a half fucking hour. More than a half hour. Easy 9 out of 10. Easy. And by the way, the song choice was perfect. They played all of their best hits. My only gripe is it could have been longer. I wish it was longer. So. But guys, listen. That's what I'm going to be talking about today, man. Don't really have a lot to talk about with wrestling, except for the big news that has been going around. Cody Rhodes is going back to WWE just in time for Elimination Chamber. Just in time for WrestleMania. Actually, we're going to talk about wrestling for a second, okay? And not even AEW. We're going to be talking about WWE, even though for AEW, I am excited about the CM Punk versus MJF dog collar match. It's going to be pretty good. Guys, did you hear what's going on? What might be going on? And I hope to God it doesn't, because there's been a track record of shit like this happening and it sucking. They're saying Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to be coming out of retirement and facing Kevin Owens. I hope to God that doesn't happen. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. Dude, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the face of the Attitude Era, and I don't give a shit what anyone says. Everybody's like, no, it was The Rock. No, it was Triple H. Fuck you, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin. To this day, no one gets a bigger pop than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin says, I just whooped your ass. Stone Cold. I'll never forget the episode of Monday Night Raw. Stone Cold comes out, gives William Regal a stunner, and goes backstage. It's the only time you saw him, and he got the biggest pop of the night. Stone Cold is probably one of the most savage, funniest, most badass motherfuckers that has ever been in the wrestling business. And when I say badass, I mean like, dude, like, you're not messing with Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. Come on. There's only a couple of people that I would say are legitimate. Like you look at him like, that's a fucking badass right there. Like, that's the definition of a fucking tough guy. I say that about Triple H because I think Triple H he's always had that, like, just that, you know what? I'm the man. I'm the game. You know what I mean? Like, he comes out with the fucking, the jean jacket and everything, with the fucking rock music coming out, like the lighting and everything. He's got one of the stupidest finishers of all time. I'll admit, I hate the pedigree. It's so unrealistic. But, he's got that demeanor of like, yeah, what, come on, you gonna fuck with me? Fuck you, bring it, you know what I mean? Stone Cold had the same fucking thing. Stone Cold was the take no prisoners, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna show up, do whatever I want, and leave, and you can't do a goddamn thing about it. The feud with Vince McMahon was probably the greatest in wrestling history. The feud with The Rock, up there with one of the greatest in history. Stone Cold Steve Austin made everything fucking better. And then he retired. And then one day, he said, WrestleMania 19 is going to be my last match. And he never told anyone. And you didn't think that was the case because he still showed up after WrestleMania 19. But he never wrestled any matches. But he quietly retired into the sunset. He went away. He hung up his boots and never said anything about it. And he stayed true to it. And so far, he is the only one who has stayed true to it. With that being said, Kevin Owens on Raw last week starts talking shit about Texas. And how he's glad he's not from Texas and how he wants to leave Texas and fuck Texas. And you're wondering, why is he talking about Texas? Who is he trying to piss off? There's nobody on the main roster right now who's from Texas. And now the rumors are coming out saying, Stone Cold Steve Austin may or may not have been contacted for WrestleMania and is going to be showing up on Monday Night Raw after the Elimination Chamber, which I believe is this Saturday. Now, that may or may not be the case. Personally, I hope it's not. But now you've got my interest. I personally just hope Stone Cold Steve Austin shows up to Monday Night Raw, kicks the shit out of Kevin Owens, hits him with a Stone Cold Stunner, and walks out, has a beer, and leaves. But at the same time, we're talking about a possible feud of, well, you think you're me. You got my finisher. You're against authority. Now, mind you, speaking of authority, that's the reason why I believe this is going to be happening, because Shane McMahon got fired. And for those of you who don't know, Shane McMahon got into huge fights with people in the back at Royal Rumble because he wanted the Royal Rumble to be about him. And they were saying, fuck you, that ain't going to happen. And he was supposed to have a huge Elimination Chamber match moment, and he was supposed to have a huge WrestleMania moment, apparently against Seth Rollins. And I have a feeling that he was supposed to cost Seth Rollins the title at Elimination Chamber. Now that I think about it, it was probably going to be Seth Rollins, Shane McMahon, and Bobby Lashley as the last three, and I think Seth was going to go in for a curb stomp or something and have Shane fuck it up and then cost Seth the title, and I think that was probably going to set up a huge feud. But I guess Shane was supposed to have a huge part in WrestleMania, and now that's not happening because he's no longer with the company. He got fired after Royal Rumble, literally like that week. So now, I think because of the lack of a draw from Shane, because let's face it, you might hate him, but he still draws, they got to call in some other people. You know Rock is going to show up after Mania to confront Roman about their match next year at fucking WrestleMania 39, because that's going to be going on in Los Angeles, where The Rock is going to take the title from Roman. Because I don't think Brock Lesnar is going to beat Roman at Mania. Now that Heyman has turned his back on Lesnar, I don't think that's going to happen. Brock's going to win the Chamber, we know that. But I don't think he's going on to beat Roman. And that's part of the reason why I'm not going to watch the Chamber this weekend. I'm going to go do things with my girlfriend. But we know the outcome. We know Becky's winning. We know, what is it? It's Ronda Rousey and Naomi against Charlotte and Sonya. We know who's winning that. Ronda Rousey's going to win that. She's going to earn herself a title match. Or no, she's already got the title match. Then she's going to go on and beat Charlotte for the title. Lita's not beating Becky. We know that. And then we know the only thing realistically, I would say Doudrop's going to win the Elimination Chamber, but let's face it, I think it's going to be Sasha. Either her or Alexa. So, there's that. And then we know Brock's winning the men's chamber. So, because then they're going to go on and do the title versus title thing that they want to do. And I think Lesnar's going to lose, and then Roman's going to show both titles, and then he's going to get confronted by The Rock. But now they need things in between, and I feel like that's where Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to come in. They want to convince him to come out of retirement for a match against Kevin Owens. And then I'm reading somewhere that, there might be a run after that, depending on how he's feeling after his match with Kevin Owens after Mania, which means that he's most likely going to win that match. I hope to God he doesn't come out of retirement. Because let's look at it. Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Goldberg. Jesus Christ. Bret Hart. Fucking all of these guys who retired, who said that they were done, and they come back and they end up being fucking horrible. And it's like, in a way, it's like you kind of feel bad, because at one point these guys were able to hang. These guys were able to put on the best matches of all time. Well, with the exception of Goldberg. But it's like you feel bad because they still want to be able to do that. You know that they probably kicked themselves. Undertaker even said that he couldn't even watch that last match against Goldberg because he said he disappointed the fans so much. And because he was pissed off at the ending because Goldberg almost killed him. But then again, he made it up with the Boneyard match. Made up for it. So I really hope this is not the case with... even The Rock. The Rock got fucking hurt in his match back against John Cena. I know there was the tag team match at Survivor Series, but he wasn't working the entire match by himself. He was in a tag team match. He didn't have to do a lot. But he got hurt against Cena. Then he got hurt again against Cena. Hell, Cena coming out of retirement wasn't really the best. I feel like it probably could have been better if they put the title on him, which I feel like they should have. And the timing was appropriate, to be honest, but, you never know. So I really hope that Stone Cold doesn't come out of retirement for this bullshit, because he doesn't need to. Guys, let him stay retired. Let him make his beer. Let him collect his royalties. Let him still do his television shows. And let him leave with the impression that he gave us when he wrestled The Rock. That was the Stone Cold Steve Austin that we loved. I don't want to see a half the size fucking droopy Stone Cold Steve Austin come out and get winded 5 minutes into the match. It'll kill my childhood. Stone Cold is the last hope for, guys not ruining their fucking name. But, I don't know. We'll have to see what goes on. What else is going on? Yeah, so Cody Rhodes is gone from AEW when he's going to WWE. Wonder what that's all about. That was sudden. That wasn't even hey, this might be happening. That was I woke up one morning and saw the letter that he fucking posted on Instagram and Twitter, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And the Bucks the Bucks knew about it because they're co-presidents with him. Brandy knew about it. Obviously, Tony Khan knew about it. Jericho knew about it. But it's I guess he's going back to WWE. What the fuck? We're talking about the Forbidden Door. This is not what we meant. We want people coming into AEW from the WWE, not the opposite. The only thing that I can think of is that he walks in there with Brian Cage, Marco Stunt, and probably Christian, and maybe FTR, walks into Monday Night Raw and says, all right, this is ours now, we're taking over, and do another invasion angle. I doubt that'll happen, though. Again, only time will tell. My only concern is that they're probably going to have him job out to a whole bunch of guys because Vince is going to hold it over his head. Hey, guess what? You created the company that made us fucking lose, the Wednesday Night Wars, and, you created the company that brought CM Punk back into the business, and you consistently shit-talked us. So guess what? You're Stardust again. And not only are you Stardust, but you're Stardust for the rest of your contract. From what I understand, Brandy is not signing with them. So there's that. But shit, dude. What the fuck? A company that does not see AEW as their competition, no shit, because you just signed their owner. You just signed the guy who created the company. AEW was Cody's idea. I don't think I could say that. Hold on. All Out was Cody's idea because Dave Meltzer said he didn't think Ring of Honor can sell out a 10,000-seat arena, and Cody said, hold my beer. And then after that, they were like, all right, we got to capitalize on this. And that's when AEW came around. But with all the accomplishment that AEW has made in the last 2 years, what the fuck? Why, Cody? You were talking almost 3-4 weeks ago about how, this is the company you started and that you're never going to turn heel because when you were trying to become the Revolution, that's when you needed our support and we cheered you the most. And now you're going to the fucking company that fired you to cause the Revolution. What the fuck is going on? There's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to this. There's no way Cody is just going to sign with WWE because that's what they're saying he's going to do. Apparently, they have already started filming vignettes at the Performance Center. And if it doesn't happen, then I don't know why the fuck he left. But allegedly, they want something big at WrestleMania involving Cody and... What in the world, man? Unless it's an invasion. That's the only thing I can think of, is that it's an invasion angle. And that maybe Cody is infiltrating. Maybe Cody is recruiting. Maybe this is a plot. I don't know. Maybe it'll be Khan versus Khan at WrestleMania. Nick Khan versus Tony Khan. Maybe do that for Survivor Series, AEW versus WWE, because let's face it, guys, Vince wants to sell, oh my God, could you imagine this? Vince wants to sell WWE. He wants to sell it to either NBC or Disney or like Fox or somebody that's got a lot of money. Well, guys, guess who's got an equal amount of money? Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the owner of AEW. He's got that fucking Saudi money. What if he bought it? If WWE starts randomly getting better in the next year or so, then I think that's what happened. Because Triple H isn't involved with the company anymore, from what I understand. Shane's gone. Shane, when he was writing for the company, it was starting to get a little bit better, but he was still making himself the headliner. William Regal's gone out of NXT. I know he had a lot of input on NXT, and NXT sucks now anyway. But Triple H was Triple H's baby, and now he's gone, so now it's going to suck even worse. Guys, I don't know, but could you imagine a fucking invasion at WrestleMania? How insane would that be? If you have, and it doesn't even matter what part of WrestleMania. Could you imagine how fucking insane it would be if during Cody's match at WrestleMania, whoever they put him against, if all of a sudden Adam Cole and the Young Bucks and fucking Wardlow and MJF and maybe even CM Punk and Bryan Danielson and fucking John... Now, mind you guys, I know this is not going to happen, but you can dream. And John Moxley and fucking FTR, if they all came in the way that the Nexus did and started kicking the shit out of whoever Cody is wrestling. And that starts the invasion. And that starts the eventual takeover. You want storylines up until the next WrestleMania in Los Angeles? There you go. And have it be a whole shit fest on Vince. Because let's face it, a lot of those guys that would be going in during the invasion are Vince guys. Who he fucking let sit in catering or didn't use properly. You know they've got shit to say. And if it's not shitting on Vince, it's shitting on creative and Kevin Dunn. There's your... Dude, it'd be such easy writing, man. There's your war. It's happened before and they can do it again. But this time... WWE can't be the winner. If Vince is going to sell the company and he's going to get out of the business, this is how he's got to do it. Been talking for an hour. Just about an hour, at least. Well, I'm going to take these last couple of minutes to let you guys know. Rich did promise me that he's coming in next week to talk about, he's going to tell his story of him growing up and his experience when he was growing up, which is a very interesting story. And the reason why I've been putting it over so much is because it is a trending topic on Netflix. There's been movies made about it. It's always been something that's always piqued my interest, and I think it'll pique yours too. That and I've got a couple of shows coming up. My tour is almost completely booked. I'm going to be making an official announcement for the tour as soon as I get the final payments in for the theater rentals and everything, because I got a lot of theaters that are going to be paying me, and we're doing fundraisers and working some deals out and everything, so, that's going to be a whole thing. But I'll have an official announcement very soon. But guys, I do have other events going on. I booked the Terryville Festival in Terryville, Connecticut. I'm doing the Naugatuck Food Truck Festival in August. I'm doing a big food truck event in Naugatuck in May at the Entertainment Center. I'm doing a show at the Portuguese Club in Naugatuck. A lot of my shows are in Naugatuck. What the fuck? I got to branch out more. I got stuff from Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, all over the place. Not going to New York because they're still, they're still KGB in it over there. So, announcements will come. But guys, thank you for listening to the Magician with a Microphone podcast. As usual, it's been a blast. My name is Chris Langle with Chris Langle Magic, and I will talk to you guys next week.